Welcome to VARINDIA News Hour. The tech giants are behind the biggest data breach in the world. It is absolutely true that getting obsessed into a more technology-driven world would lead towards destruction. However, the technology companies say digital life is likely to improve the lives of people at the top of the socioeconomic ladder over the next few decades. Various reports on the digital divide are inviting more serious problems. Most tech companies make apps and digital tools for people who can easily utilize internet and digital devices. This creates an illusion of ubiquitous internet, but the infrastructure will tend to be made for only people who understand English. This could create huge social problems. Google is the biggest real-time bidding, that is RTB company in this universe. It clearly reflects from the recent report that Google-led internet giants are behind the biggest data breach ever recorded. On average, a person in the US has their online activity and location exposed 747 times every day by the RTB industry. In Europe, RTB exposes people's data 376 times a day. The report reveals Google allows 4,698 companies to receive RTB data about people in the US, while Microsoft may send data to 1,647 companies. Now you can name the mother of all data security breaches as the Irish Council for Civil Liberties, that is ICCL, revealed that Google and other internet giants are processing and passing people's data billions of times per day via real-time bidding, that is RTB system for tracking and ad targeting. Real-time bidding operates behind the scenes on websites and apps. It tracks what you are looking at, no matter how private or sensitive, and it records where you go. Every day, it broadcasts this data about you to a host of companies continuously, enabling them to profile you. RTB is the biggest data breach ever recorded. It tracks and shares what people view online and their real-world location 294 billion times in the US and 197 billion times in Europe every day, the Irish watchdog said in its report. Europeans and US internet users' private data is then sent to firms across the globe, including to Russia and China, without any means of controlling what is then done with the data. The RTB industry generated $117 plus billion in the US and Europe in 2021, said the ICCL. It further reveals that US internet users' data racked and shared 107 trillion times a year. Still, the report said that the figures presented for RTB broadcasts were a low estimate. The industry figures on which we rely do not include Facebook or Amazon RTB broadcasts, it added. The major concern is that ad tracking could expose personal data that can be used to identify women and people who are pregnant and or seeking abortion services. Most advertising on websites and apps is placed using RTB. Advertisers spend $100 billion per year on RTB in the US and Europe, said the report. Google and Microsoft were yet to react to the ICCL report. Let's look into today's headlines in VARINDIA. China found to be building new bridge in Pangong area. According to satellite imagery, China is constructing a second bridge in an area held by it around the strategically key Pangong Tso Lake in eastern Ladakh, and it could help the Chinese military to quickly mobilize its troops in the region. However, there is no official reaction or comment by the Indian defense establishment on the new construction. It is said that China has recently completed the construction on the first bridge in an area that is over 20 kilometers from the line of actual control. BPCL privatization hinder as bidders walk out. The privatization of Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited has been stalled with just one bidder left in the fray after two others walked out over issues such as lack of clarity in fuel pricing. The government had planned to sell its entire 52.98% stake in BPCL and invited expression of interest from bidders in March 2020. The privatization had not attracted much interest due to the volatile global oil price scenario and later due to a lack of clarity in the domestic fuel pricing. At least 3 bids came in by November 2020, but only one remains now after the others withdrew from the race. Paytm Mall's valuation falls after Alibaba's exit. Paytm Mall was built on the lines of Alibaba's T-Mall in China. Paytm had raised over $800 million from several top investors including Alibaba and Financial and SoftBank. Paytm e-commerce said it suffered operational losses despite investing heavily in expanding its business and market share. It said the COVID-19 pandemic posed unique challenges and demanding circumstances to the company's growth. Paytm Mall said it did not agree with reports suggesting a massive decline in its market valuation as a result of Alibaba's decision. It said the exit price of an investor is not reflective of the valuation of the company. Vedantu dismisses over 400 employees. Online tutoring company Vedantu laid off more than 400 employees, or about 7% of its workforce. The layoff comes amid a sink in India's startups, which raised a record $35 billion in new funds in 2021, but now face a dramatically different environment as corporate governance concerns looms large for investors facing a new uncertainty in global markets. There are also concerns that valuations in India are already too high, even when startups' business models are being led by discounts. Tata plans to acquire 5 consumer brands. Tata Consumer Products Limited wants to go on an acquisition spree to strengthen its position in the country's competitive consumer goods sector and is in discussions to buy up to 5 brands. The conglomerate will likely face stiff competition in the sector from existing global giants such as Unilever as well as Reliance Industries Limited, which plans to acquire up to 60 small grocery and household consumer goods brands within 6 months. That's all for now. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to VARINDIA News Magazine. You can download the VARINDIA app from Google Play Store and Apple App Store for the latest news and updates. Stay tuned. Thank you.